So I've just come off a lesson with Neil, a senior golfer who says he's been losing distance over the last few years. And he's basically put it down to his age. And I said to Neil, no, it's really nothing to do with your age. I appreciate that maybe not as flexible as you once were, but ultimately, you're not basically moving your body like you could do. And in this video, what I want to share with you is something that I give so many senior golfers that helps them add effortless yards to their game. And no matter whether you kind of feel like you're stiff or a bit wooden, I promise you, I'm going to help you unlock some effortless yards by just changing just a couple of things in your golf swing. Before I do though, look, if you're new to the channel, so your first lesson of mine, please consider subscribing. I make videos just like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. But you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in that description box below. So let me start by hitting a couple of shots. The first one I'm going to hit is I'm going to put, it's going to be a swing that I see with a lot of senior golfers. One that requires a lot of effort, a lot of energy going into the back of the ball, but you won't see much reward. The second shot, I'll show you some of the things that I'm doing to unlock this effortless motion, and you should see a considerable increase in the distance. So let's start with shot number one. So this is what I saw with Neil, very much so. Loads of energy going into the shot, but not really a lot of reward. Looks something like this. So I'll really hit that hard, 227 yards. So ignore the distance I'm hitting it, just look at, in a sense, just for now, how much energy I put into that, right? And I've got 227 yards a distance, okay? Shot number two, right? And I'll show you how you're going to create this in a second. Shot number two is much, much more effortless. Let's see how far we hit this one. So nice and easy. Look easy, nice flowing swing. Hey presto, we've just hit it 271 yards, right? Now, the difference between those two shots is really simple, right? Most of the people who hit it a long way, they make it look easy because they understand the natural science of a golf swing, okay? In the first swing, most senior golfers are incredibly steep on the golf. They're coming down on that ball very, very steeply. The best analogy, I can show you this, is a speedboat and a water skier, okay? So as I take the club back here, I want you to imagine this is the speedboat and this is the water skier. Now, with a senior golfer, on the way down, these are completely lined up. And what happens is the speedboat and the skier are basically going steeply down, but also at the same speed. So they kind of look like this, no power. The other one looks effortless. The club's coming around here. The speedboat is here. The club is behind the speedboat. Now the speedboat, look, is still ahead. The skier is behind. Now what's going to happen? The skier starts to get in line, and then look, as the boat turns the corner, the club gets catapulted around the corner in an effortless way. And what happens to the skier? He speeds up and slings out, right? So this is ultimately the secret to power. And in order to create it, you just have to unlock certain things in your backswing to make this super easy for yourself. So let's help you do that. And let's keep it really, really easy for you. So when you're setting up to the golf ball, we're going to start from the ground up, and we're going to start to unlock certain movements in your body that's going to help you create a wonderful arc like this around the body so that the club remains behind the hands for as long as possible, so that eventually when it comes around, as the boat comes around here, look, the club gets slung. So the first thing we're going to do is this. We need to improve your mobility. So make sure, that's one thing I did with Neil, his trail foot, his right foot here was pointing directly forward. The first thing that does is it really restricts the ability of your knees to move. If you can't move your knee very well, you can't get around the corner on the way back. So again, this blockage forces the club upwards as opposed to around. So we're going to open the trail foot like this. So, but now, so the knee can move this way a little bit, we can now create more of the around. The second thing, and this one is huge for two reasons, and I'll explain. The second thing I want you to do is when you look at my right pocket here, so often what happens is this right pocket never moves for golfers. They're kind of swinging like this. Now, if this right pocket doesn't move, okay, what do we create? That's it. Just, again, a club swing that just goes upwards and not around. So we take this right pocket here, and I'm going to move it towards the target. What does this do? Well, it creates, again, it helps the club and your body move more around. But I'm still stuck. Something else is stopping me from completing my turn. And this is the final piece, the head position. Now, this one is absolutely huge. So often I'm seeing people, right, and they have been told to either keep their head dead still, or they've even been told to move it, but they're still like this. I want you to move your head like this. The head can move around and it can pivot on its axis. And this is important because as we've made this movement here, if I keep my head staring at the ball here, I am restricted. But if I just tilt my head slightly like this, almost like I'm going to look towards you, but not quite. So I'm looking almost in the corner of my eyes here, almost like I'm pouring water out of my lead ear. That's going to free up. Look at how much movement I've got here. Now, if I'm a senior golfer and I'm really struggling with flexibility, I could even then potentially make sure that it's maybe even allow this lead heel to come off the ground a little bit low to keep on going. But what this is doing is unlocking the arc of your golf swing, because every time something's stopping you, whether it's the heel down, the head now here, or the bum's too square, everything's now is too steep. What do you notice now? We're in real trouble. Now we're in this chop motion. So from heel up, we're unlocking that motion on the way back. So let's start to look at this in action. So I'll get myself set here. I'm going to turn this toe out. And then all I'm going to do is going to make some swings where I'm going to first of all just get myself swinging backwards and forwards in a nice flowing way. And I'm going to sense that my pocket is moving towards the target like this. Really moving towards the target. Then as I get to about hip height or waist height, I'm going to start to imagine my head tilting like this. Now, what this is also helping me do is this. You know, I've seen people coming up with senior swings where they start to encourage you to go like this. But if you're moving excessively off the golf ball all the time, how do you get back to it on a consistent basis? Well, if you move your head correctly, as opposed to moving on and off, watch this. I'm still over the back of the golf ball, still here, but I'm not actually having to sway excessively off that ball. I'm basically helping my body pivot in such a way that also gives me the freedom and effortlessness, but also helps me to make it easy for me to come back down to impact consistently time and time again. So let's have a look at this. So get myself set, ball's just off my lead heel, let that pocket move towards the target and really let my head pivot on its axis, so I'm almost pouring water out of that lead heel. Now at this stage, I'm not going to go for any real power. I'm just going to create this effortlessness, and I'll show you how you start to increase that speed with one final exercise. So get myself set. Let's turn everything going. Again, just nice and smooth. Let's have a look. There we go. Look, comfortably. You know, you can see here, look, I'm hitting slightly up on the golf ball now as opposed to down on it. Lovely little draw. And comfortably 270 yards, right? Now, I'm not expecting you necessarily to hit it 270, ignore the distance really. It's more about how it, you know, the effortless and how easy it becomes, right? So, start unlocking that body, those body parts, the feet, we'll get that in a second, the feet, the pocket, and the head. Now, finally, there's one ingredient in there which I haven't mentioned yet, and this is crucial. A lot of players are incredibly stiff and they're wooden. They're trying really, really hard. And it's not always easy. You say to people, oh, swing the club heads, relax, all those kind of things. It's not easy to feel that, is it? So, but if you grab this is a bath towel, right? Just a heavy bath towel that I've strapped up, right? And what I love about this is it gives different things to different people. But what I like is if you swing it, just like we've just done, create those motions, just swing it and let it just fall down to the ground, backwards and forwards. As I'm doing, sure. And as I'm doing this, I'm really sensing the towel just falling out. I don't see this with golfers. I see more like this. Right, and there's nothing there. The body's moving all over the place. There's no zip, there's no power. But you notice this, I'm not trying to kind of zip it, but once you've got the feeling of this towel just snapping, now you've got that feeling. You can then start in your own way. I'm now going to try and create a louder snap. But you start small with this initially. So let's have a look at how we would apply this to your driver swing. So again, let's keep it simple, nothing complicated about this. We're setting ourselves up, we're unlocking some mobility here. We start to unlock that mobility in the foot, the pocket, the head. Now we've got an arc. Now I've got the towel. I'm just letting that towel, look, snap down the ball. Notice I'm not trying to hit it like this initially. You don't need to. Start small. Just get a feeling of what that towel's doing, yeah? Get myself set. Again, unlock the backswing and really feel the towel just snapping down at the bottom to give myself that little bit of zing look, and it's just becomes effortless, right? Now, if I want to hit that further, just like I did with the towel, I'd start to work out ways where I could snap that towel, but I don't have to think about it, it's just a feeling. And that's why exercises like that are really, really useful. So, you do not need a senior swing. You need ways to unlock your current swing and your current talent, right? I promise you, you might not be able to swing as long as I can, but there is some flexibility in there, right, which you can unlock. I hope this video really, really helps. If you know some senior golfers who could do with a little bit of extra power, please share it with them. They'll love you for it. If you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button and the bell. If you want to see some more senior videos just like this one, check this one out for the irons. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.